if you guys were cars in the Cars universe, what car would you be?
Here's my fear about this question, is because a lot of people in these movies get lampooned. I would want to be like a BMW M3. I would end up being a Volkswagen Passat.
Gentlemen, question number 1. Strip the King Weathers is both a character and a race car in Cars. With his protruding aerodynamic nose cone and high rear wing, he's modeled after a 1970 stock car, a Superbird, from what now defunct American automaker whose name evokes Thanksgiving. So, while Leo and Trevor think about that, welcome to the latest episode of the Evil Trivia Podcast. I'm Graham. I'm joined by the aforementioned Leo and Trevor, and they're going to be answering 8 questions as part of our hidden theme round. All 8 of these answers will connect to some hidden thing. It could be a word within each answer. It could be the entirety of the answer. And if you want to play along, head on over to patreon.com/eviltrivia, where we have all of these questions and more from our in-person trivia night here in New York City. If you're in New York, come out to our trivia night where we will give you guys these questions live in the bar. I think that's about it. Leo, Trevor, welcome. How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. I was doing well until this first question, and now my brain hurts.
It's okay. You have a very Leo question coming up later in the round that I made the last question because I was like, I can't give a Brit the most like easy Brit question, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Do you guys have any idea what this could be for question number 1?
Leo, do you have thoughts?
No, I mean the question. Definitely, I can visual. I've never seen Cars. I've never seen the movie. I can visualize.
Hold on. What?
I've never seen Cars. I just I'm severely underwatched on Disney and Pixar. And there are so many I've never seen.
Even though last week's trivia in person, the hidden theme was Pixar movies.
I know, and that was my theme. It makes a good theme. Listen, as we all know, the thing about trivia is we ask the questions. It doesn't mean that we would know the answers anyway. We're not familiar with the material we ask, you know.
Trevor, this seems more up your alley. You're kind of a car guy.
I know. So the Superbird. And I don't think this is right, but it's stuck in my brain. The Superbird makes me think of the Thunderbird or the Firebird, the Firehawk. There's something like that. And now I'm stuck. Is it like Pontiac? I'm thinking about defunct American automakers. Is it Pontiac? Is it
Thunderbird?
Chrysler?
Thunderbird's the Ford model from the 50s, isn't it?
There we go.
That's the iconic, beautiful Ford one.
That's different. So I'm thinking of the one from Smokey and the Bandit. It has the like phoenix painted on the front.
It's also in Cars.
If it's the same thing. All right. So give me a second. That's going to come to me. I can get there. But let's hear some other questions.
Okay, we'll move right on to question number 2. Stumped Leo and Trevor. 0 for 1. Really embarrassing. Okay. It's okay. This is only going to live on the internet forever. Question number 2. In 2022, tech entertainment entrepreneur Anthony Wood started his 6th company, and, well, 6 times the charm. This company took off, and its name comes from the Japanese word for 6. What company is it? I'll read it again. In 2022, tech entertainment entrepreneur Anthony Wood started his 6th company, and, well, 6th times a charm. This company took off, and its name comes from the Japanese word for 6. What company is it? You guys don't know your Japanese.
No, I feel like I do know 1, 2, 3, and 4 in Japanese, and that is as far as I know.
Give us 1, 2, 3, and 4 in Japanese.
Okay, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like I have a memory that there are a lot of Japanese songs that count off, which are like 1, 2, 3, 4, because obviously a lot of songs are in 4/4, and I think it's like Ichi, Ni, San, and Shi. but now I feel like I'm mixing up Japanese and Chinese.
That might be Teletubbies.
They hate that.
Yeah,
That might be Teletubbies.
notoriously they have an incredible relationship and nothing's ever happened between the two countries. Yeah.
Anything
Tech
about
entertainment
entrepreneur, Anthony Wood.
I've never heard of him, but I'm assuming if the question involves tech entertainment entrepreneur, then it's going to be some tech entertainment thing, like, like a Quibi or one of those like apps that's also streaming or something. I don't know. 2022, so not long ago.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read this wrong. Retraction. It should say in 2002.
Oh.
My apologies.
This changes
everything. Yes. That is a typo on my part. And we will issue a formal retraction and notes app apology via Instagram.
Yeah. Can you do it while playing the ukulele? Like that one. What was her name? The woman who did the YouTube apology?
It was Miranda Sings, right?
Colleen
Ballinger.
I want to see you do a ukulele apology.
Yes. I did not groom kids. That's basically
Yeah, that was the gist of it.
Is that what you're apologizing for?
Yes. Just like obviously do it in song.
Graham's getting ahead of the Epstein files.
It was a great island. Any ideas?
What were you? Oh my God. All right. 2002, tech entertainment.
Are we still talking about the Epstein files, or are we back to the question?
No, different island.
Okay. Sorry. 2002, entertainment and tech, but not Epstein files. Here's the thing.
So
Netflix, right? Is Japanese
Netflix,
for 6, right? Totally.
I was going to say YouTube is Japanese for 6. Tech entertainment. Okay, so 2002. Anthony Wood doesn't ring any bells with like Napster. But that would be around that time frame. Doesn't ring any bells with Pandora. I think that's pretty early for Pandora. Tech entertainment companies.
Yeah, tough question.
Let's come back to it. But 2002, I actually weirdly feel better about. There's too many companies today. There's too many apps.
Back when Trevor was in his 50s.
Things were better back in my day. We only had 2 platforms for anything. You had to buy VHS.
That's like what a few weeks ago we had a Laserdisc question, and I bet Trevor was like very excited about the Laserdisc question.
Every week, I feel like there is one question that Trevor is foaming at the mouth, excited about. Last week it was thermite. Absolutely, it was thermite.
Yeah,
100%.
Love me a thermite question.
And it's the same question that everyone at Trivia is like, "What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
Why would I know this?"
Every time.
Okay, we'll move on to question number 3. Question 3. Originally founded as a small Dutch settlement in the 17th century, a certain trading post grew in importance to become a provincial capital of the Dutch Republic before its control was handed over to the British. What did the Dutch call the settlement?
Leo, do you want to take that?
I mean, is it what I think it is? Is it just New Amsterdam?
It's gotta be.
Right?
It has to be, because we have to get one of these.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only Dutch settlement that I know of that would have ever passed to the British would have to be New Amsterdam. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
And new is a solid theme word, although it could be. I mean, it could be Amsterdam. We don't know. We have nothing to go on yet.
But yeah,
new.
This is a great first question.
Yeah, great. Good question one. Good question one.
Well, it's like a few episodes ago we had that one where I think it was like blank the blank or blank and blank, and I think you guys like nailed every question like before I finished reading it.
We made a huge mistake.
Yeah, so
I'm trying
to find the middle ground here. It's harder to we do a lot of tuning for difficulty at like for the actual questions at Evil Trivia, like in the bar. I think it's harder to tune for difficulty for the podcast. Like
For sure.
you have to like structure it right. Like it's not as straightforward as tuning it for difficulty in the bar. Like we talk about difficulty a lot, and we like behind the curtain a little bit. We have and like the little website we use for grading, we can see like the percentage of questions people get right and wrong every week. And you know, we aim for, I don't know, what do you guys think we aim for, like 75-80% correct rate?
Yeah.
But like every week we'll have a few questions that are 100 and a few questions that are like in the 20s. But like we really do try to like, we have conversations about difficulty all the time. I think it's harder to write. I think it's harder to tune for difficulty for the podcast.
For sure.
I agree. Sure. I think there's something to the idea that like when you've got a big group of people, we can sort of more easily guess like what's the average knowledge of a group of 100 people, but when it's two specific individuals, it's very different
with really sprawling, unusual bodies of knowledge. Because a question you might think is a perfectly fine question, it's like, oh, I knew that guy. I very specifically know everything there is.
But also the other way around, because I feel like it also depends which one of us is hosting. Because if Graham's hosting, he knows he can't ask any American sports ball questions because we will not know it.
Yes. I did run into that. Okay.
All right. Question number 4. New Amsterdam. We feel good.
This is such a classic Graham question. Just the lead into this, you guys are gonna love this. This is the sort of stuff that Leo and Trevor make me cut out of real questions, but when I'm writing it alone, I'm allowed to just write whatever I want. Question number 4.
Keep getting away with this.
Question number 4. I love air traffic control so much. It's my favorite form of control. The U.S. government that runs the ATC is also known by 3 letters that fully spell out what? The U.S. government department that runs the ATC is also known by 3 letters that fully spell out what? Who runs air traffic control?
So it's the FTA, right?
Is that the
federal... The FTA, Federal something aviation, Federal...
you don't think it's Federal Transport Authority?
Federal Transport Authority, yeah.
But I'm not sure. I mean, it could be aviation. Do you think the FTA only does planes?
They've got a lot on their hands. We want to give them more than that. No, I think you're right. I think it's transportation. Okay, so Federal Transportation Agency, Administration?
Agency is more likely than authority, isn't it?
Oh, no, wait, authority, yeah. God, and that's going to be the word we need for the hidden theme. No question. Whichever one we don't
Trevor
have.
hasn't pounced on this immediately.
I know.
Okay, well, we F is we're confident is federal.
Yeah.
T can only be transport, transportation, or transit, I guess. But it's got to be one of those kind of words for T. Yeah. And A could be agency. It could be authority. It could be, what was the other one you said? Administration. Okay, so we've got a few possible words for the T and the A. Yeah, we've got a few ideas. So it might be that we have to come back and tweak that.
Wow, that was great content to listen to. Wonderful. Great job, guys.
Does anybody want me to... We're taking notes.
Yeah. Does anybody want me to list off other words beginning with T and A? I can do that.
A is for administration.
Yeah.
Number five. What red-headed actress in 2010 won Esquire's Sexiest Woman Alive award despite saying, quote, "I was working my butt off on Mad Men, and then all anyone was talking about was my body." Number 5 again. What red-headed actress in 2010 won Esquire's Sexiest Woman Alive award despite saying, quote, "I was working my butt off on Mad Men, and then all anyone was talking about was my body"? It's 5.
Please, Leo, release me from my...
I do know this. This is, if I'm correct, it's the only redhead on Mad Men. I think this is Christina Hendricks, who plays. What's her character name on Mad Men? She's so wonderful.
wonderful. It's so creepy when you say it like that.
I'm sorry. What would you?
So-
What would
such
you?
Such a lovely.
Sorry. What adjective would you like me to use to describe Christina Hendricks?
Talented actress.
Rats.
Yeah,
All
I
everyone
really-
was talking about was her body.
Damn it.
You're just like everybody else. You're just like Esquire.
It's true. Wonderful is such an objectifying word, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. I don't stand for that.
I
Call
go
out
up
your
to women.
call out your friends, people.
Yeah, exactly. I go up to women at bars and I say, "You are wonderful," and just so many drinks in my face. It's crazy.
Okay.
I have to admit that even with just the ones we think we've got so far, I'm struggling with the theme. So we are going to need all 8 here,
Hendrix is interesting. Yeah.
right? It's a gin.
Hendrix
That's all
is
I know.
Interesting. I know.
Interesting.
I know. I'm looking for Amsterdam. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going.
Number 6, shall we?
Let's do it.
That's
Number 6. Rudyard Kipling wrote both beloved fiction and explicitly racist work, including the poem The White Man's Burden. In that poem, he framed British colonialism as a duty to educate the people of his birthplace. What did Kipling call his home city, the most populous city in the country he was born in? What did Kipling call his home city? That's number 6.
okay. So I could be wrong about this,
Okay.
but
Careful.
but I think that Kipling was born in India
Mhm.
under British rule. And so I
Mhm.
think Graham's trying to trip us up by talking about the country he was born in, making us think it's England. But I think he was maybe born in India, in which case
Mhm.
the capital would have been at the time.
At the time.
Now, what was Delhi called at the time? Was it called
Old Delhi.
No, was it called Rajasthan or something like that?
Good, Trevor.
Old Delhi,
Thanks.
yeah, exactly. Old Delhi.
Thank you.
Hmm.
To be clear, I wasn't trying to trip you up too much. I did say to educate the people of his birthplace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. You just didn't.
I wasn't too mean.
yeah.
I just
know,
didn't-
you're
I
right.
just
Too
didn't
bad.
tell you the
We got
country.
there. We got there.
No, you're right. You didn't frame it like he was completely.
I could have.
Yeah. You could have, but you're right. I think for a Brit, we should know that all the Kipling stuff, but I think for an American, it might be less well known. Now, was it called Rajasthan? Was it called?
Rajasthan makes for very difficult hidden theming.
Yeah.
just to meta game for the audience at home a little bit. If you hear a word that definitely doesn't mean anything else and it's a hidden theme round, tread carefully.
Yeah. You guys have done hundreds of hidden theme rounds, both writing and playing, and you guys have developed a strategy. It's fun to like think through the strategy of it.
Yeah. I like the gaming of it every once in a while.
Any ideas?
Okay.
I'm just not sure.
This is a tough
Is
round.
this number 6?
That was 6.
All right. We got plenty of time.
But that wasn't the British one you thought that I would know.
No, he saved it for last.
I saved it for last.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm gonna try to make Trevor try to answer it first.
You could certainly try. Okay.
All right, should we move on to 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7. Here at Evil Trivia, we pride ourselves on pretentiousness, but even we have to draw a line somewhere. If you call yourself a phytologist, Phytologist, you're just using a fancy word for what 8-letter profession? So if you call yourself a phytologist, you're just using a fancy word for what 8-letter profession?
Phyto. Okay, so I'll vamp a little bit. Phyto is like having to do with sunlight, or it's having to do with.
I think I know this one. If you want me to jump in,
Yeah, jump in.
so the reason I think I know this is the where I've come across the prefix phyto before is with plankton, because you have zooplankton and phytoplankton. The difference between zoo and phyto is simply zoo is animals and phyto is plants. So I'm pretty sure phyto is the Greek prefix for plants, and I think
you a botanist?
Botanist is exactly what I was thinking. That's 8 letters, right?
Is that 8 letters? Yeah, botanist. Woohoo! All right.
Wait,
should we move on?
Okay,
You guys want to keep thinking about the theme?
We've got
or should
a
I move
couple.
on?
I know.
I mean, here's the thing. If botanist also sounds like it could be a gin brand, so I'm going to go ahead and say if the theme is gin brands, I'm pretty sure there's a gin brand that's a beefeater.
Don't say what number 8's going to be. Okay. Don't say what number 8's.
It's aviation. So it is aviation. Because aviation gin.
Okay.
Because aviation is a popular. It's what's his name's gin
Ryan
brand?
Reynolds.
It's
Ryan
Reynolds. Okay, so but we don't know for sure.
If that's an answer, but I would feel pretty strongly about that. Aviation is definitely in there. FTA.
Okay.
Shall I read number 8?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear number 8.
Leo, you have to recuse yourself from this one unless Trevor can't get it. Number 8. If you are one of the Yeomen warders of His Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London, and members of the Sovereign Body's Guard of the Yeomen Guard Extraordinary, you are in a group of civil servants, and you are known by what more popular carnivorous name?
I do know this one. Thank God. Thank Christ. It wasn't about sports ball. I was waiting for it to be some god-awful sports ball question.
We gotta remove sports ball from your vocabulary.
I got one the other day that you're gonna love. Sports pageant. I'm gonna start calling it sports pageant.
Honestly, that's better.
I know what the answer is. I don't want to take it from Leo because this is such a British coded.
Spoken like somebody who doesn't know what the answer is.
Go ahead, Trevor.
Beef eater.
Yeah.
They're known as the Beef Eaters, which is also a very popular gin brand. But listen, I took the tour of the Tower of London. All right, I have toured. I have ismed. Okay, let's go back through the questions. Let's figure out what we're missing here.
Okay, so I think I know now what the Rudyard Kipling one has to be.
Okay.
I mean, because the gin brand Bombay Sapphire, so it's got to be Bombay,
sure.
which is actually the old name for Mumbai, not Delhi. So I guess I didn't realize that Mumbai was the capital at the time,
popular.
not Delhi,
or the most.
I never
populous.
said capital.
He didn't say capital. It was the most populous.
Oh, okay, that was my fault. I read into that capital. Okay. Oh, so Mumbai was his home city. Okay, so Bombay. For Bombay Sapphire, I feel good about.
Okay.
Also, you pronounced Graham. You pronounced Yeomen.
Yeomen.
I said Yeomen.
Yeah, I've only ever heard it be pronounced Yeomen.
Oh gosh.
I think I've only heard it pronounced correctly as Yeomen.
Did Google lie to me on pronunciation?
Google wouldn't lie to you about that.
Oh, Yeomen. That's what I
Yeomen.
said, right? I'll go back and edit it.
He's gonna go back and cut and copy and paste that.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like
Yeomen.
My mouth's gonna move, and I'm just gonna be in the background going Yeomen. It's funny. I even wrote it out phonetically for myself, but I wrote down Yow. Y-O-W.
You wrote Y-O-W, which could be
either. It's like a really bad
or
phonetic.
Yo, like row. Yeah.
It's more confusing. How would I write out? Yeah, I'm gonna do with an H. Yow.
Yeah. Y-O-W. Y-O-H.
Wait, it's yo. Yo or
yeah,
yow?
it's yo.
No.
It's yo. It's Yeoman. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do Y-O. Just Y-O. Yo.
Like Yeovil, the town in England that everyone knows. Y-E-O-V-I-L. Yes, that's where it came from. So.
Okay, well, getting ahead of my fun facts.
No, that's not. That can't be true.
I have no idea.
Okay, wait. So let's go back up through.
Okay.
So we've got we feel confident about Beefeater. We feel confident about Botanist. We feel confident now about Bombay. For Bombay Sapphire. We feel confident about Christina Hendricks. Then we have the Air Traffic Control Government Department. So it's got to be the FAA, the Federal Aviation
the
Agency.
FAA. Why did we throw T in there? Yes. Yes.
I was watching you guys with FTA that whole time, just dying inside.
I don't know why did we go for the FTA?
I said FTA for some reason. ATC. I don't know what put that in my head. Sorry for that. I totally dove us off. Yeah, Federal Aviation Agency. Agency.
Federal Aviation something.
Agency. I'd lean out on agency.
Okay. If you who are listening know any other A words, let us know.
Right into the show.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments.
Going back up above that, we have New Amsterdam, which I feel confident in as an answer, but am not familiar with as a gin brand.
I have a 70% confidence that I'm familiar with a New Amsterdam gin brand.
If only one of you owned a bar and knew gin brands.
Well, that surely can't be referring. That can't be me. He's talking about, can it? That can't be me. He's talking about. Yeah. Well, for a bar owner, I'm an idiot. So, and then
finally something we agree on.
Edit that out. Right. Cut it out. And so then the ones we're not sure about are the tech entertainment entrepreneur company Japanese 6.
Yep.
And above that, the type of car. I mean, the automaker.
The automaker.
Okay, so we need to think about other brands of gin if we can.
I know.
Tanqueray. Tanqueray is not something I'm familiar with for either of those.
Dang, that's probably one of the only other gin brands I know. Tanqueray.
For number one, I did say I'd try to home in on the end of the question. Whose name evokes Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Turkey brand gin.
Wild Turkey brand gin. Wild Turkey is a gin brand. Okay, so Turkey.
What other things do you think of with Thanksgiving? Is there a mac and cheese gin brand?
I could say
Wild Turkey is definitely a gin brand.
Oh, it is.
I think. Oh. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is Wild Turkey is a gin brand, unless it's not. No, do I have that wrong? You're shaking your head.
I shouldn't be helping you. They might make a gin.
Gordon's is a gin brand, but there's no way that Gordon's could be anything.
For number one, I could add in whose name evokes the first Thanksgiving. Maybe that's a better hint.
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
What were those people called at the first Thanksgiving?
Pilgrims.
Yeah. Is there a Pilgrims brand of gin?
You guys just might not know this gin brand.
Or
the car company.
Automaker. Oh, that's gonna kill me. It's a stock car too.
And then for number two, I can tell you if you want a hint, a nudge.
We should get this, shouldn't we?
These are tough. These are both probably tougher gin brands.
And I was going to say, I think we're probably out of gin brand knowledge. Anthony Wood.
So is it going to be? Is it going to be? Hold on, we can get this.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be here.
I know. Mark this in the timer so you can cut out all the dead space.
I'm not doing that. They can listen. They can watch you guys waffle around.
Is it? So it's going to be a Japanese word. So it's probably going to be a Japanese gin, and it's probably going to be a fairly short word, right? Because numbers typically aren't very, especially 1 through 10, are not long. So it's a tech or entertainment. Okay, well, what is tech and entertainment? So it's like Netflix, Amazon, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like music platforms.
I can tell you guys that this company was you'd probably first associate them with hardware, but now they're more of like a software company. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that won't.
oh my God, why am I blanking on the name? Roku. Roku surely
certainly. Holy cow, yeah, for sure.
Sounds like a word for six.
And Roku is a gin brand that I have heard of.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're missing one. There's something to do with Thanksgiving or the first. What else? Okay, well, hang on a second. Graham gave us a clue. What else can we talk about with
Plymouth?
Oh, well done. Well done.
Okay, so wait, did we need the car or just the automaker?
Just the automaker.
Plymouth.
I gave you the car. It's a Superbird.
Yes, it's Superbird. Holy cow.
In review, for number 1, you've said Plymouth.
Okay.
The car company. For number 2, the tech entertainment company, you've said Roku. For number 3, the Dutch settlement, you've said New Amsterdam. For number 4, the government department that runs the ATC, you guys said Federal Aviation Agency. Agency is what you're going with?
Administration.
Which one are you going with?
I think we go with administration.
You're going with Federal Aviation Administration. Good last second edit. Number 5, you're going with Christina Hendricks for the Mad Men actress. Number 6, for Rudyard Kipling's birthplace, you're going with Bombay. Number 7, the profession, you're going with botanist. And number 8, the Yeomen, pronunciation check, Yeomen, you're going with Beefeater. You guys got 10 out of 10 possible points.
My God.
Tough round.
Woo!
Well done. And also a very tough hidden theme, because some hidden themes you can think of a lot of possibilities and it's hard to whittle down. This one, I don't think there really would have been a 9th one. I tried to do like Monkey 47 somehow, but like I couldn't really get that one to work. And like Bombay Sapphire is a bit of a stretch.
What about Gordon's?
I was gonna try Gordon's, but I couldn't find like so it's like Hendrix technically has an apostrophe in the gin brand, but like Christina Hendricks has an S in her name. I couldn't think of a Gordon's with an S thing, but maybe when you're listening to this and you've been to the bar at Trivia, we've figured that one out by now. But yeah, I wasn't able to really think of a 9th one. But gin brands is your hidden theme.
Well
done. Great job on I think Leo with New Amsterdam was you shouted out gin brands initially.
Actually, no, I don't even
Hendrix.
Yeah, it was
Hendrix. Yeah,
exactly. It was Hendrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think at the bar, if someone writes down like alcohol or something, they get the half point for it. But it's more specific than that.
Sure.
Yeah. Well done.
Very well done.
I have some notes, and if you guys want to talk about your strategy or anything like that, or I can just jump right into my notes.
Let's dive in. Yeah. But that was very well done. It's a practice in not getting overwhelmed and kind of throwing your hands up. Even if you're getting heckled by the worst peanut gallery known to mankind, you just kind of sit through. You know, you don't really nail it down. I mean, we had Christina Hendricks, but we didn't really nail it down until botanist, right?
I
started going back through very confidently.
I also think it's like it speaks to like with this round, the hidden theme round. Always, you really have to like stick with this. And like, usually we don't really give away the game until question number 8, and then you really have to go back.
You got to.
And we'll probably edit 1 and 2 to make them a little bit easier. But overall, you guys did a great job on the answers.
Awesome. Awesome.
I also think that it's a lot of the questions we're doing what they do really well. This round is something we always try to do, which is give people multiple ways in. And so that's why we were able to go back and get Roku and Plymouth, is because we're thinking, right, okay, so it's the Thanksgiving thing and the car thing, or for Roku it's like the Japanese thing and the tech thing. So it's a reminder to people, especially if they do our trivia, is like listen to every part of the question and try and figure out all the things and try and start doing process of elimination and try and narrow down.
There's almost never just one hint.
Right.
Okay, so question number 1 was about the Plymouth Roadrunner. Maybe while I'm editing this, I'll pop up a picture of the car on the screen. Super cool car. It has like that really tall rear spoiler with like 2. It's like it looks like a big like antenna almost. Super cool car. It was modeled after a car called the Plymouth Roadrunner, so it was like a variation of a car called the Roadrunner. This is a very cool car. I didn't really know much about this, but in 1968, Plymouth paid $50,000 to Warner Brothers to use the Roadrunner name and likeness from the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner
Hilarious.
cartoon. And they spent like $10,000 developing the horn to sound like Roadrunner's beep beep.
Me.
Yep. I love that. And there's also a Roadrunner like the cartoon Roadrunner on the side of it. Just a really cool car platform, I guess. Is this like Plymouth thing? And Plymouth no longer a car company, but the first thing you guys got that the first Thanksgiving happened in Plymouth.
That's very cool.
Most of the cars in Cars, maybe this is obvious. Some people are modeled after like actual like real cars. Like the Doc Hudson is the Hudson Hornet is a 1951 car. Sally plays like the love interest, I guess. Is a Porsche 911. Yeah. Carrera. Even Larry the Cable Guy's mater is modeled after a 1951 International Harvester boom truck and cross between that and the Chevrolet Task Force. It's cool. Like Luigi's a Fiat 500. It's kind of cool to like go back and like think about like these animators like picking cars that like fit the characters.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys, if you guys were cars in the Cars universe, what car would you be? Putting you on the spot.
I hate the question.
I know so little about cars.
You can just pick a brand. I don't really know. Yeah.
As someone who can't drive, I think that if
it would be a steam train.
It would be a steam train. No, if a Pixar animator was going to pick a car for me, it's got to be a British car maker. It's probably going to be a Jaguar.
Not an Aston Martin.
It could be an Aston Martin. I'm imagining the like 1960s Jaguar E-types. Which that's I'm talking about the like
James Bond
beautiful
car?
Kind of James Bond looking beautiful like 1950s 60s that's what I'm imagining.
Convertible, right?
Yeah, convertible. That's sort of what I'm imagining.
I used to have a Hot Wheels car that looked like this.
Either that or actually, you know what, I've changed my mind. Feel like also could be Rolls Royce, and the fact that I'm calling myself a Rolls
I'm cutting this.
The thing is, you won't. I know you won't because editing is work, so I can say whatever the fuck I like. Hey, everyone in the comments, I'm a fucking Rolls Royce, okay?
Yeah, well, that's definitely being edited out.
There's our cold open.
Trevor?
Here's my fear about this question is because a lot of people in these movies get lampooned. I would want to be like a BMW M3. I would end up being a Volkswagen Passat.
Oh, that's awesome. I would be, I don't know what I would be. I'd probably be like a minivan, like a suburban.
Real utilitous. Urban.
I'd be that minivan that when I was little, I wanted my mom to buy this minivan that had like a table in the middle, like the seats like were facing the seats in the second row were facing the back, and then the third row was facing the front. There was like a table in the middle. I don't know why I was obsessed with this idea of having a table in the car.
Yeah,
we never really went on road trips. Like for like 10 minutes, I could like have a table. Cool. I don't even know why I wanted a table. I think it was a Chrysler Town and Country.
That's awesome.
We never got that car. But I think I'd be that.
That's such an American thing too, because I feel like the concept of a car with a table in it never made it to England. Never.
A car with a living room in it.
Yeah. In England,
it's got a table.
You can't drive far enough to need a table. There's no such thing as a road trip in England. Like,
You're just doing laps.
It takes you like an hour to get from one side of the country to the other anyway. So
you can't drive far enough to need a table in any country. There's no reason you'd need a table in a car.
Yeah, fair point.
Having a meal. Okay. Number 2 was Roku. You guys got there in the end. 6 in Japanese. I don't know if it's exactly 6. I need to maybe do further research on that, but
in the comments,
at least a like close transliteration of Japanese word for 6. You mentioned Netflix a bunch, which is very serendipitous because Roku started as a Netflix project, and then it was discontinued and spun out And then Netflix ended up like
Vaguely
dumping its like 15% stake at like a $4 million loss, and that stake is now like worth $7 billion. One of the bad bets Netflix made, which is kind of interesting.
I think they're okay.
I referenced this at the end, which is that they started as like more of like a gadget company, like the Roku remote and the Roku like this USB stick type thing.
Yeah,
it's not a Fire
Roku
stick. I forgot what it's called, but that's Amazon. But now their main business is just like connected TV ads, and they have like their own ad serving platform. They're really like advanced in the world of like connected TV ads, and now they're just like mostly working with existing TV brands to license out Roku's software. They don't really care about selling the hardware anymore, which seems like a pretty good business model. I don't really know that much about it, but it seems pretty cool. But Roku
cool.
6 in Japanese, it was a sixth company, and Roku Jin also 6. I don't know why Roku Jin is 6. If you know, write into Evil Trivia.
Send us a letter.
Number 3 was New Amsterdam. You guys nailed this immediately. This is one of those like trivia fodder questions that like I feel like comes up a lot. We're always trying to avoid talking about it, but New Amsterdam,
find a different way.
both words is the name of the gin, so it's like kind of hard to avoid asking about it. But you guys got it without me even mentioning New York or anything like that. You guys got it just off of Dutch settlement, which is very impressive. Actually, we're close to where I am right now. Actually, where I am right now is where the settlement was, down in the southern tip of Manhattan. A lot of great little fun facts. Yeah,
because the original settlement was down there, and then they had a wall that was the edge of the settlement, and the wall then was knocked down and became the street, which is Wall Street, right? Wall Street.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And that was one of the notes that I had here, but well done. Either of you know any other good fun facts about like old New Amsterdam or like very early Manhattan?
I have a question which may be in your notes. I sort of remember something about was something exchanged? I think this could be my memory is
that it was turned over to the British. It was handed over. It doesn't. It was handed.
Okay, my memory, and I think maybe I'm wrong here. Then is that actually it was part of a deal where the Dutch got Suriname in South America because it had a lot of natural resources, whereas the British wanted New Amsterdam for its strategic position. But we'd have to double check that. I don't know that that's right.
I have here in 1664, the English military seized control. And then after the Second Anglo-Dutch War in 1665 to 1667, it was officially handed over after the Treaty of Breda, which included Suriname to the Dutch.
There you go.
Well done. And New Netherland, which was New York to the English. Well done. Exactly right. It was a very multilingual place. The population was in 1643. The population was 500, but someone wrote down that there were 18 different languages spoken, which I think is, as a New Yorker, I think is kind of cool because like it is still like a very multicultural place. Like not 18 different languages among 500 people, but like it's one of the cool melting pot things about New York, and it's cool to know that like even back in the colonial like settler era, it sort of had that lifeblood through it, which is cool. There is probably you could spend a lot of time talking about this, but there was a semi-independent black farming belt just north of the wall where like now like Soho Greenwich Village is around Washington Square Park. They had like half freedom. And there's some great like little plaques and things around that area, sort of like calling out this very early black neighborhood settlement in New Netherlands. And then my last thing was, Leo, you nailed it, which was Wall Street is an actual city wall, existed on it for about 50 years. Just a really cool, like it's cool living around so much of this like history because it was, you think about like all the old settlements, you think about like Jamestown and stuff like that, but like there's not a lot there anymore. Or the stuff that is there is like mostly museums and things. It's cool that like this is like just a place that like grew in popularity and expanded, and it's a city. Kind of random, but very cool.
And I think there is still quite a lot of I feel like we don't talk a lot about the Dutch history of America, because it really is quite localized to the New York and surrounding area like Pennsylvania and all that. But there are still quite a lot of Dutch names in place names around I think like the Bronx is from the Dutch, and there's a few others as well. Maybe Staten Island might as well. The Staten, because I think that's from the Dutch. Anyway, I'd have to check, but a lot of the place names are Dutch. And then I'm not sure a lot of people know is that New York was not named in honor of the city of York. It was named for the Duke of York.
Yes,
who went on to then become King James II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting though. It's still New York. So is it like it's a newer version of him?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you're naming it. It's new. It's odd. But I guess you could count New York in the list of states named after people as opposed to places.
That's pretty interesting. That's a good one.
That's very interesting. That's very cool.
Yeah. Number 4 was about the FAA. You guys had FTA, then FA agency. You got there in the end. I probably would have given you the point for Federal Aviation Agency or Authority, but administration is the right one.
Is the correct one.
Couple interesting little fun facts is one of the sort of most chaotic days in FAA history obviously was 9/11. What I didn't realize is that the FAA National Operations Manager is the person who is like responsible for like the decision to shut down all of U.S. airspace, which had like crazy ripple effects. The airline industry had to get bailed out. It was like a very big decision. I mean, the right decision when they didn't know what was going on. The person who was the FAA National Operations Manager that day is this guy, Ben Sliney. Sliney, I think his name is pronounced Sliney. It was his first day at the FAA. There's been some movies about him or like episodes of TV shows and stuff. He's like interviewed. He has his own Wikipedia page. But yes, first day working at this job. Might not be his first day at the FAA, but first day in this role. And he had to make the decision to shut down U.S. airspace, ground airspace. They had to immediately ground like 4,500 flights. And effectively, it was the first time national airspace had ever been closed. Really interesting. And
have either of you seen the movie The Thin Red Line? Is that what it is?
That's a Terrence Malick movie, right? I haven't seen it.
It's about air traffic controllers.
Oh, really?
If I remember correctly, it's like a drama thriller about air traffic controllers trying to maneuver flights around that are potentially going to collide. It's an incredibly stressful job.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've only played that like old iPhone game where you're like trying to route planes in. And I'm like, that's too stressful for me to even play. I can't imagine if it was real planes. This next fact is a very Trevor fact. Atlantic City has an FAA lab where they one of the things they do is they set planes on fire to like see how they burn and everything. Full scale burn tests on seats, cabin panels, fuel, carbon fiber fuselages.
That's
to understand how things fail. I want that job. I want to set planes on fire for a living. That sounds That sounds so fun. For in controlled scenarios, if you're listening,
absolutely top safety marks.
I'm sending this to all the relevant authorities of just a clip of Graham.
I'm gonna get randomly search at TSA next time.
I really want to set airplanes on fire.
Coming to the end here, I'm just going to go through some last things. Christina Hendricks, not really a redhead. Died. Her hair is dyed. I did say redhead in the question because that's how everyone knows her. But she's not a real redhead. Her natural hair is blonde. Yes. But as a kid, she was obsessed with Anne of Green Gables, and she just started dyeing her hair, and that's like kind of her brand now, I guess.
That's awesome.
But so that's kind of interesting. Mad Men. Do you guys know where the term Mad Men comes from?
Is it from Madison Avenue?
Yes, but apparently the show made up this myth that like everyone called themselves Mad Men.
Hilarious.
And it wasn't really coined in the 50s. There's really like one documented usage of it in period, but the show made it sound more ubiquitous than it actually was, which I hate being lied to. So
it sounds like how we
AMC.
write trivia.
Yeah.
This one obscure reference sounds like a common fact.
I do love those examples of when a movie or a TV show does something and then people just start to take it as fact. And then we suddenly think, oh, yeah, this has been going on. The example I'm thinking of is in the James Bond movie Spectre, where it's the opening scene is in Mexico City and it's a Day of the Dead parade. And we're like, great, that makes sense. Mexico City, Day of the Dead parade, of course.
For sure.
But there was no like large scale Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City before the film. And now, because of the success of the film, they now do a regular Day of the Dead parade.
It's so awesome. It's like traditions are just like what
funny.
you do. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be hundreds of years old. You can just start a tradition. The next question you guys nailed pretty quickly. Or no. This one you guys
We had to come back.
You had to come back because of the capital population thing. You guys had what did you say it wasn't the Delhi thing?
Rajasthan?
Yeah, Rajasthan.
Yeah.
I'd have to check what Rajasthan is. I might look that up quickly, whether I'm just making this up or not. But it was the rule was known as the British Raj, and I thought that Rajasthan was a place, but it might be that Rajasthan is a state. It's not a city, it's a state. And it's still called that in northwest India. So that's why I think I just mixed up the fact that it was known as the British Raj. And so I assumed that like Rajasthan. But yeah, Bombay, Mumbai makes way more sense. Yeah.
Yes. The original 7 islands of Bombay, Mumbai were the governor, William Hornby, in 1782 was told not to build on them and did it anyway. And that's why we have a city there, which I think is just kind of interesting. Yeah. 7 was botanist. You guys nailed this one pretty quickly. There's not a lot of ways to ask about botanists, but phytologist, being a pretentious way to say you're a botanist, was my way in here. I have some plant facts, but maybe we'll just put them in the show notes. I was like, I don't really know how to like do notes on this one, but Leo, you nailed it. Phyto, plant, Greek prefix. And you got it with like, phytoplankton, zooplankton. That was very well done. Finally, we come to Beefeater. I'm going to let Leo maybe take some facts about this. I have some, but I'll let you start if you want.
Well, I don't know that I think the problem with the Beefeaters is that I know what they are when I see them, but I actually am not sure I could tell you the accurate history. So shall I? Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. And trust me, Beefeater porn in England, very popular subcategory. It's just because in England we have sex with all our clothes on, so of course we search by outfit. Yeah.
Yes. They have wonderful little outfits.
Don't say wonderful. That's very sexist.
That's very creepy.
A
Graham,
callback.
Yeah.
We're so good at podcasting. We do callbacks now.
But the one thing I'll say about Beefeaters that I think a lot of people confuse, even in England, the terminology gets confused, is people quite often say the word Beefeater when they're imagining the people with the very tall hats that are the guards, which is not what Beefeaters are. Those are they just called the Royal Guards or the King's Guards?
So, yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway,
Royal
but
Guard,
those guys with the tall hats where they keep their sandwiches underneath the hat. The tall hats are not Beefeaters. Beefeaters look different. Yes. And Beefeaters, I believe, specifically are for the Tower of London. And you won't see them elsewhere, like by Buckingham Palace, for example. But and
the Beefeater gin does have a real Beefeater on it. It doesn't have the tall hat people on it.
I would assume so. I'm curious because I assume the etymology must come from like the fact that they did eat beef way back when. But I'm curious to know, Graham, what your notes are.
Yes. So I will start by saying the etymology is a little bit debated. There is a mostly agreed upon answer, which is that one of the Medicis in the 17th century visited the English court and wrote that the royal bodyguards were given such huge daily rations of beef that they might be called beef eaters. This is like the most agreed upon etymology. There are some others. Some references talk about them making rich beef broths, essentially like powder soup, and the nickname might have come from that. There is an interesting one that is comes from buffetier, I think is how you pronounce it. Old French for like a sideboard servant or food taster. There's not really any hard evidence for that, but it sounds like it could be right, like a bastardization of this like Old French word. And then there's another one for loaf eater, as a low ranking servant as a parallel. So like if you were a loaf eater, you're a peasant. So beef eater must be the the fancy version of that. It's a clever analogy, but again, there's not a lot of origin. So the most likely etymology origin is that it comes from that writing from that Medici in the 17th century. They have a private pub called the Keys, and it's been called the most exclusive pub in the world. And they have like specialty cocktails there, but only they can go there, which is kind of cool. And
is it in the like on the grounds of the Tower of London? I wonder.
Yes. It is
some people live
inside
there.
The walls and off limits to the public.
I believe that people do live in the Tower of London, and it's like a special group of people who live there. And I think my mum's boyfriend, I think his brother maybe lived there, so she went to visit.
We should get him on the pod.
Yeah, let's get him on. Yeah. I can't remember what his role is, but I think he did or does.
Yeah. And then my last couple things are just some things about gin.
Before
gin
you do, Yeomen.
Yeomen.
Did you find the etymology of Yeomen?
No, I didn't look for that.
If
you know the etymology, write into the pod.
I think it might be derived from like young man, but yeoman basically just means like an attendant or like a low ranking person in a
says
in a
member of the social class between the peasantry and the landed gentry.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right-hand person.
So gin is like a successor to Genever, which is a disgusting Dutch like malty liquor. Do you guys know where the term Navy strength gin comes from? This will be our last little trivia fact before you can make a guess of where it comes from before we
I mean, it's
going to have to do with proofing. Is it it's up to but below like 125 proof, because that's when it becomes flammable and you don't want to have a fuel source on a boat, also known as like cask strength.
It's really not a bad guess. Again, you're conflating a little bit of some whiskey knowledge there with like cask strength and everything, but you're close with like flammability and everything. And in fact, but you're the opposite. So Navy strength gin is stronger than regular gin. And the reason for this is on Royal Navy ships, they did not want spilled gin to ruin the gunpowder. If you had gin that was too weak,
Sure.
If it got the gunpowder wet, the gunpowder wouldn't light. So they wanted to make sure they were distilling gin strong enough that if it did spill, the powder could still ignite. And so that minimum it ignited is around 57 ABV. And so that threshold became 100 proof in the old British system. Now 100 proof is 50 ABV. Proof is just a doubling of the ABV. But Navy strength gin and proof is like prove, it could still...
You could light it.
It could still light on gunpowder. And Navy strength gin was initially made for a very like useful purpose, but then people started developing a taste for it, and now it became and then in the 19th century it became like very popular to drink. Just I want Navy strength gin, I want the stronger stuff. People developed a taste for it.
We don't have time, but the process by which you distill gin is very cool, with the like multi-leveled baskets of
column stills.
Very cool stuff.
A lot of neutral grain spirits are distilled using column stills. You can do
it all in one pass.
Yeah, you can do whiskey too, but usually you wouldn't want to use the entire column. Or if you use the entire column, like maybe age it longer. Column stills are like typically the most efficient stills, like whereas like pot stills, they literally look like a pot with like a little like pointy spout on top. Those are a little bit less efficient, but more used in like whiskey distilling. Scotch
One
and
thing,
stuff like that.
Very cool.
One thing that I think is interesting about gin is the fact that it was absolutely like the most popular spirit for a while in England, especially in the 17 going into the 1800s. So popular and so problematic that it was called Mother's Ruin was the nickname for it. And I just think it's fascinating because we today, many of us would almost never think of drinking gin on its own. And it's also, if you ask a crowd of people to name their go-to liquor, how many people are going to say gin first? You know, I mean, I feel like even with martinis,
I think you'd be surprised.
people go
I
vodka
think
first.
Here in New York, it's fairly popular. Yeah.
But I mean, I will say that
anecdotally.
like I think bad gin is the worst liquor. Like bad vodka, bad whiskey, like doable, but like bad gin is like really gross because like
Cuts through
there's
everything.
so many botanicals and it can be like so perfumey and disgusting. But yeah, I did see that Mother's Ruin.
It is so interesting. Yeah. It caused like a proper moral panic, you know, and I just think it's such a funny thing to think about of like just people going crazy off of gin.
Yeah. It's sort of interesting how like so many temperance movements and stuff were started by and like advocated for by women. Interesting, probably sad because you can imagine why they didn't want men drinking. But yeah, it's like the even the temperance movement here in the US in the 20s and obviously leading up to the 20s, you know, the suffragettes were also like most of them were big you know,
teetotalers.
Exactly. Anyway, that is it. That is the Evil Trivia Podcast. Gentlemen, thank you for joining. If you're listening, if you're still listening to this part of the podcast, thanks for sticking through. And come out to the bar in New York City where we have these questions and more. Follow us on Instagram at Evil Trivia, on Patreon on Evil Trivia, and we will see you next time. Thank you for listening.